Welcome to Adtopsy, where we take you behind the process and the people that are creating work that earns permission to interrupt. And the whole point of us doing this interview series is to help you and brands that you're working on, maybe with something that could be useful. So today's conversation is about finding growth in unexpected places. Who's not looking for growth? We know that that is the number one thing that's on most CMOs' minds these days. But we believe that in this story we're going to talk about today, we found a nugget that could be really useful of finding new audiences that might be hiding in plain sight. So the subject of our conversation today is none other than one of the best-selling bourbons in the country, Maker's Mark. And I'm joined by my good friend, creative principal, Alex Campo, who is a leading creative on our work for Maker's Mark. Alex, thanks so much for sitting down for this.
No, thank you. I love talking about Maker's Mark, talking about bourbon in general, but specifically about Maker's Mark. Not every day you have the opportunity to work on something that aligns with your personal passion. So when Maker's Mark came to the agency, I was extremely excited. It had kind of like paralleled my own personal journey into bourbon. And that's, I guess, what we're going to talk about, how we tapped into the Latino market for something that perhaps is not what Latinos are known for, right? Being Guatemalan, we drink a lot of rum.
Yeah.
Mexico drinks a lot of tequila.
Yeah.
So my journey into bourbon was like, hey, I really don't know it that well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I like it. I'm going to give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
So I started discovering that I liked it.
Yeah.
Then, it opened a new world of a liquor that I hadn't been in before.
Yeah. What was the assignment? Why were they coming to us?
They were looking for sales growth.
Yeah.
In specifically Texas and California.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that Texas and California over-index on is Latinos.
Sure.
So they were looking for growth, and we raised our hands and said, yes, Latinos are in California, are in Texas, but Latinos are not very well versed, as a general rule, in bourbon. So it's going to be a challenge, but it's one that A, it reflects my own personal, passion,
Yep.
and B, it is the opportunity for growth. How much more tequila do I need to sell to a Latino? We already know it. Rum, we already know it. Yeah. The opportunity here is discover something that is very American and start tapping into your American side.
Yeah.
Marketers have heard this many times before. Us Latinos, us U.S. Latinos, we're not 50% Latino and 50% American. We're 100% Latino and 100% American. So what the thinking was there is, let's tap into that 100%. Let's open up the 100% American in those Latinos. This doesn't mean that I'm going to stop drinking tequila, stop enjoying my rum.
No, of course not. What inspired you to create ultimately the work now that's out into the world with this campaign?
The strategy team went around, spoke with people, bartenders, real people at bars. One of the reasons why I started my personal journey, and this is so American that why not? I'm an American citizen. I've been living in this country for 20 years. I want to feel more American. And I started dabbling into bourbon and unlocking this American icon.
Sure.
And the creative team that I worked with said, you know what? Let's unlock it as a celebration of our little triumphs. Every time we adapt or conquer something of this American system that it's perhaps not ingrained in our culture. Those are little victories of us as Latinos fulfilling that 100% American side of us.
So the notion was to associate that with a celebratory spirit that also had that American connotation.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
We went a little farther and said, why don't we make that celebration in the hands of a Latina?
Mm.
You know, in the case of this actual script, it was a Latina that becomes a partner in a law firm.
Sure.
That is a major accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And the way that she celebrates her triumph is by pouring a maker's mark.
Mm.
Here's to turning each moment into a victory. Here's to the only flavor of triumph. Every win is a sweet one.
Que viva la vida.
Toast accordingly. Maker's Mark.
It feels that drink is a very natural part of that celebratory experience in that American context without losing the 100% Latina that she is.
This example is very nice because it was successful in several fronts. The story of the Latina celebrating her American triumph of work and dedication with an American icon resonated really well. The client was concerned by will the male Hispanics resonate with this message?
Sure.
The testing indicated that it did. So by putting a Latina at the forefront of the story, it not only brings the attention, pulls the Latina viewers into the fold, but also the males.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, find a partner that is able to tap into those insights that will bond your product with a behavior or a need or a mindset that the Latinos have. And don't be afraid about it.
Sure.
Just because it's counterintuitive doesn't mean that it's wrong. Yeah, that's where you need to mine, where, you know, in the caves of a mountain where you don't see that the gold is there, you just find the right miner and you'll get to the nugget. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about this story is, and I think for those that are listening, if you take something away from this, I hope that it is, don't stay on the surface in terms of research and data that you're looking at when you're trying to determine where that next piece of audience growth is going to come from. I think you've heard from this conversation with Alex and our experience in working with a client like Maker's Mark that sometimes that growth opportunity is hiding in plain sight. You just have to know how to interpret the data that you're looking at, have to know how to look beneath it and understand, maybe despite what might be appearing on the surface, are there other cultural indications that would lead you to believe that there is a bridge that can be built? And so I hope that this can help you in the work that you're doing and the brands that you serve. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.